YCS Costa Rica has come and gone, and for what little information we have available, we have your top 4 breakdown and some interesting deck list out of the event. Today is Cyber Monday, which means we have the Shizu Marine with the different background up, and of course we also have the remainder of the discounts left over from Cyber Monday. If you want the chance to pick this up, I will leave a link down below, and there's a few gem deck boxes left on the site as well for those of you that want to grab one of those, so link will be down below for that as well. So let's get into that Costa Rica breakdown, shall we? Make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. Your top 4 breakdown is pretty much what you expect out of this event, at least for what we were able to see. Honestly, seeing that Tier was able to be taking down this event does not surprise me, in the very least, not whatsoever. Honestly, the fact that Jesse Cotton did get the win here is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna clap for that. Jesse taking down the event with Tier, which honestly, overcoming a majority of the mirror matches and things throughout the day definitely put him in a winning position. Like, absolute kudos for that. So officially he won with a Shizu Tier Element by Steel, which means you're going to be doing pretty much the standard stuff that we've seen Tier Elements doing for a majority of the format. So that's absolutely amazing to see that, you know, even as we head on into the next format here, there will probably be like 0 changes. You know, the only real big thing is like Herald of Orange Light versus, you know, 1 Herald of Orange Light. Second place for the event was just listed as Tier Elements from what I've seen circulating around for your breakdown, which I'm not really surprised about that. Third place was your Sprite by Steel. So you see at least one Sprite player did creep into that top 4, which is very nice. And then we had Pack out here with a Shizu Tier Element by Steel playing pretty much the exact same combination of engines here for what Jesse ended up having here for the win. So your breakdown, 3 Tier, 1 Sprite. I am not surprised. For the rest of you that are going to be like, well, Robbie, you know, what's the rest of top 32? I don't have that info. It didn't circulate around the internet as of filming this video this morning. I'm sure more and more info will come out as time goes on. I just ask you be patient. We don't really super care too much about this event because, you know, there's a ban list changing. So with that being said, also no Flounder in top 4. You know, we've seen Flounder up for a majority of these events, being that, you know, absolute competitor for this, and it looks like, you know, it kind of flew off into the distance. Now, you know, once the list does adjust here and you do see Macro Di-Fi enter back into the room, you might see a slight representation shift. I mean, an absolute little shift in that. And from also what I heard from other people, Dimension Shifter was a pain in the butt this event. I listened to, I think it was 1 or 2 comments from people that just said they absolutely got devastated by Shifter. So that's definitely something that was worth the read. But overall, breakdown went pretty much the way that you expect. No real crazy changes to be had here, but I do have some interesting little deck list out of, you know, top 64 here that you guys are going to want to see. All right, the first deck list that we have here is Dinosaur, and yeah, I know this has Mystic Mine in it. All right, I get it. All right, I made the decision to include this because I was like, you know, it's Dinosaur. We'll give it its last little hoorah. Maybe, you know, post list change, you know, maybe you will get the chance to see, you know, maybe some sort of change for this. The other 2 lists that I have are going to look a lot better and a lot more inviting, you know, post list change here. But the first really big thing was we are playing the Keystone here. I've seen Keystone kind of show up a little bit, but it didn't really stick around too much, which that honestly is kind of an interesting little thing here. Now, Triple Baby is fine, no little Pterodon. I also see that we are playing DD Crows for interruptions. No Bi-Steel package in this, which is also kind of interesting to me. Maybe, you know, once these go away, you can replace them with Bi-Steel cards. We're also playing Evenly Matched, which means that our game plan was a going second Dinosaur deck, which unfortunately, I mean, it has to be the way that you have to look at playing this deck in order to break through those boards. I mean, literally break through those boards. Outside of that, it's pretty interesting. We're also citing double Lost World down here, and main decking one. So if there comes a point that you actually do need to see all three of these or a combination of these in order to keep yourself in the game, you can very much do so. Side deck, interesting choice of one Mourner and two Dogwood. We're also playing double Silent Graveyard. I think this card will continue to get some more play here. So say, you want to shift your game plan to going first against here. You board this in and you board in the different dimension grounds. You should get the chance to do relatively well, honestly. Both of these cards should get you into a game state where you'll have the chance to win. Also, shout out to Naturia Beast. The fact you can actually make this is quite hilarious. Next up here was a branded Despia list. This also made top 64 as well. So two very interesting decks making it into top 64 here. Now, how much this deck actually, really changes? It doesn't. Honestly, what this deck maintains its presence in doing is pretty strong. I will say one thing that catches my eye down here is we're playing Ghost Reaper, but you get to hit both of these. The fact that you actually have your mini package in here, do keep in mind that you're a dedicated, 1, 2, 3 Tier Elements cards in this deck, which gives you access to the Kit Gallos, which gives you access to the Rook Hollows for nothing. It also makes your Branded and High Spirits a lot more powerful, actually. Anytime that you can have generic synergy like this to kind of bridge the gap together to allow for, interesting hodgepodges like this, I think it ends up working out. I feel like you're wrong to not want to take advantage of these with your fusion-based strategy. Now, for the rest of what's going on here, one Drillsworm, triple Magna with one Sarnier is fine. I mean, you are focusing on double Lubellion in here as well, and you are playing one branded Regain with the one branded Beast. We're also playing one branded Retribution as well, which is kind of interesting. Side deck, we're actually playing triple Godarla. That's an interesting kaiju of choice. I will say that if you are truly frustrated with some of the losses in this format here, this kaiju will help you out. It's very interesting because Sphere Mode was the go-to for so long. So the fact that we see a nice little run back here on a kaiju, which means that maybe this duelist was worried about Crooked Cook or something. Maybe there was some random other side reasoning for this, but this was genuinely an interesting inclusion into this. Also, shout out to Instant Fusion for the Millenniumizer Strict. So good. And then we also have an Eldritch list. Now, let me tell you about Eldritch here. Ever since the Bysteel package has entered into the room, so many people have looked at Eldritch and they're like, toss it in the pile, get rid of it, it's dead. And I kind of felt that way for a little while too. So for this to get 79th place, I know it's not a top 32 at the end of the day. It may as well not even count according to some people. I was very happy to see this, perform and do well. Also, the fact that, the adventure package is actually going to be one of the key pieces to this deck. I know a lot of people look at this and they're like, Robbie, there's no real point in talking about, the adventure package because Eldritch is better without it. This event tells me otherwise. This event tells me that this was a pretty interesting inclusion into this. We're still doing Pot of Extra for draw power. You're still going to rely on Lord of the Heavenly Prisons to protect, your investment of all these back row here. Solemn Strike actually getting some love here. I mean, you're on 43 cards. It still performed and worked out at the end of the day. Now, my question is, where was the Bysteel package? Well, we actually had access to them down here. I mean, there's our Duris's, one Magna, and one Sarnier. But I think one of the most interesting things down here is Thought Ruler Archfiend. We actually had Thought Ruler, Scarlight, and Dark Strike Fighter all in the extra deck. Now, how much you'll be able to access these, I mean, you got level 3 tuners everywhere, sure. But stepping into a level 8 or a level 7 isn't quite an absolutely amazing feat until you realize, oh, this is level 5 plus tuner, gets you into Thought Ruler or Scarlight for the scenario of time. That definitely is going to catch a lot of people off guard, and a lot of people will be like, really, Thought Ruler Archfiend? Yeah. Thought Ruler Archfiend in the year 2022 actually stepping up to the plate and actually performing. I actually think that that's quite hilarious. So little final wrap up here. So YCS, I mean, for how much it actually matters, actually was kind of interesting. I love getting the chance to see the overall results here. I think going forward, that not a lot's going to change. R.I.P. Mystic Mine. 'Twas a good run. So remember, Cyber Monday deals are up on our website. I will leave a link down below so you guys can grab whatever goodies that you are looking for. And I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.